Hey, what's up? Richard Bryce here. Today, I want to help you to improve your forehand. And the way that I want to do that is showing you some of the things that have really helped me to improve my left-handed forehand. Because I've been relearning to play left-handed for the last 6 months. I did it because of like a collarbone issue, because of a mountain bike crash. But it's turned out to be such an amazing learning tool for me. And it's helped me to kind of clear up some kind of areas where maybe my understanding wasn't good enough, but it's also forced me into finding ways to make things work better. Because when I started to play left-handed, I was okay on the backhand, I got that pretty quick, and the one-handed backhand, like slice backhand, I got that stuff pretty quick. But the forehand was a real struggle for me, and it was the timing, and it was the balance, and it was all that stuff. I just couldn't do it until I started to do what I'm going to show you today. So I hope you enjoy what I'm about to show you. This is what I basically do every day to start my day. Sometimes, like today, I can get out on court and do it, but in Vancouver it rains a lot. So a lot of the time I just do this in puddles. I just do it in my house. I do it wherever I can, and it has really allowed me to improve my forehand quickly. So I hope you find this video really helpful. If you do, it'd be great if you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do that if you like this sort of content, because you'll get notifications and things so you don't miss any of these videos. So the thing that has really helped my left-handed forehand the most is putting the racket down, working on both the movement to the ball, but really to allow me to get the balance and to get the timing. They were the kind of the things that I was struggling with. I just wasn't getting in the right place. I wasn't set up properly. I wasn't balanced, and I wasn't getting the timing properly of using my hips, then my torso, then my shoulder. And when I was practicing this with the ball there, trying to do all the regular stuff on the ball machine and with practice partners, I couldn't solve the problem. So I put the racket down, and now this is what I do every day. And I still do it every day, and now I'm back playing with my right hand, and now I do it with both hands every day, because I'm just finding it makes me so much more balanced and in better positions. So I'm looking forward to showing you it. I go in a sequence, and I do maybe like 10 reps of each. So the first one, unit turn, step out, hit through it. Now, I'm focusing on a few things. This is about the footwork. I really want you to program in the footwork, because what you've got to understand is unless you can get to the ball, you cannot hit it. Unless you can get set up in the right position, your chances of executing the shot you want go down exponentially. So working on the movement to the ball is crucial. But this isn't just about the movement to the ball. This is about programming in the unit turn, because again, I was relearning to play left-handed. You've got to relearn this stuff. You've got to get it into your system. So as I'm doing this, I'm trying to get this nice, wide, stable base with my split step every time. I'm trying to get this unit turn. I'm trying to work on getting my elbow high to get more of like the modern style forehand. I'm really trying to keep my head pointing down that end as I move to the ball. And then I'm also really trying to kind of think about keeping my head still through contact. So this is footwork stuff, but it's shadow swings. It's trying to, you know, I'm really envisioning my opponent hitting the ball and just kind of doing this stuff perfectly like I would in a match. So I start out with 10 reps of stepping out, and then I hit through, because we're going to work on neutral stance and we're going to work on open stance. So I just do 10 reps where I just hit through. Working on those movements, I kind of get going. I normally start cold, and then as I get warm, I start to get a little bit more flowy, a little bit lower with my movements, and I get a little bit more athletic with them. But I just work on that first. And then after I've done that, the next thing is I then do a bit of a step out into the same thing. So I'm just basically practicing the movement patterns that I'd be using when I'm moving. And again, I go for 10 reps. And maybe you need to start slow and work on it and then build up your speed over time. But this is what I go through. The next thing I do is I do a pivot and then a little shuffle, just practicing that adjustment step if the ball's a little bit shorter. Then the next thing is I do a bit of a combination again. So I'm going to take 2 steps out, shuffle, hit. And again, I can start off slow, depending how my body's feeling. I might be more athletic, but each time I do it, my head went down too early on that one. Each time I do it, I'm trying to do it as perfectly as I can. Again, through a few reps on that one. And then I move on to the next one. So when the ball is short, or when the ball's in these positions, those particular footwork patterns are going to be useful. But then if the ball's coming harder or faster, those footwork patterns aren't going to be as useful. So I need to program other footwork patterns as well. So the next thing I'm going to work in is stepping out and pivoting and kind of hitting from an open stance. And I just go for 10 reps of those. Again, I'm just thinking about those contact points. I'm just kind of working on programming these things into my body. Do a few of those, then that shuffle, ball's a little bit further away, pivot. Then I move on to the next footwork pattern. So the next footwork pattern I'm going to focus on, when the ball's close, this isn't the movement that I'm going to use. I'm going to do that first step by stepping in. And I've got other videos that break these exact movements down in more detail. So I'll place the link in the description. Here I'm just showing you the patterns and the way that I practice it. So for the next one, I'm going to be stepping in and then pivoting. So this allows me to cover a little bit more distance. Still focusing on the quality of each of those things, but I'm trying to get the timing as well. I'm trying to get the hip drive, the torso, the shoulder, throwing my racket forwards. So really trying to program this stuff in. And then the final one I do on that is stepping across and then just another little shuffle in case I need to make some adjustment steps when I get there. So it looks like this. Sometimes I work on the footwork on the way back, but at the moment here, I'm just working on the footwork there. So I do that sequence for when the forehand is in that position, and then I go and I work on my inside out forehands. So for the inside out forehands, it's generally going to be a pivot. So I'm in there, and again, I'm just programming these movements in. And then I also add in one more combination. If I've got to cover more ground on this inside out forehand, I want to program being able to do that. Again, for all these really working on that unit turn and preparation at the same time. So that's how I do it. I literally just work on that stuff every day. I mean, I'll find out what it looks like on camera. I haven't recorded myself doing this, but I feel stable, I feel balanced, I know how much my forehand is improving from it. I'll probably find out that I look like a stick man when I watch it back, but just what I'm experiencing in terms of results on court has made like a huge difference for me. I also want to let you know about my vision program that's free, in case you haven't got that as well, because that goes with it. So what we're doing here is we're really programming these footwork patterns. Like the ball goes into a gazillion different positions on court. That's why tennis is so hard. You've got to get there, you've got to be balanced, you've got to do these things. So what I'm getting you to do here is to program specific footwork patterns to kind of take that out of the equation. So now your body just knows how to do this stuff. It's used to these different movements. So there, you own them, you've got them. But it still really depends on your visual system requirements. Because if I'm gonna to know exactly what to do, so do I go there or do I do that big first crossover step because I need to get out a little bit further, a little bit faster? Your visual system has to work really well to be able to tell you what you need to do, so then these footwork steps come into play. So I'll place the link to the free vision program down there, and again up there as well. Work on the vision, work on these movement things, and honestly it'll do so much for your game. And like I would say, even if you're a bit of a higher level player as well, a lot of higher level players don't necessarily work on this stuff, but I guess the guy that I love for this is Andy Murray. I mean, I just love Andy Murray. He's one of my sporting heroes. Wonderful man. But you know, his movement is just so deliberate and so, like Federer, to me, I watch him and he's more of a natural, and it's Federer. But Murray, it's all very deliberate. I feel like he's done a whole bunch of this stuff, just programming the movement as efficiently as he can. So although this is what I've been doing to improve my left hand, since I've seen what's happened to my left hand and now I can play again right-handed, I work on this on both sides of my body on both days and just do it over and over again. And I'm really noticing it on court, so I hope you notice the same as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it didn't go on too long. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'll see you next time.